Holy Terminator 2 Judgment Day, Batman! Tiki here, and I'm watching through each and every episode of Batman the Animated Series through for the first time. Now, after having gotten through the first Ra's al Ghul two-parter episode, I'm veering into uncharted territory, folks. It's sci-fi land here. Oh my god, robots! Artificial intelligence, I need some guidance. Dragon, where are you?
Rest assured, I'm right here, citizen. See, folks, long ago I made a vow to educate Tiki in the ways of Batman the Animated Series, serving as his spirit guide to Gotham in a way.
And tonight we're talking about his Silicon Soul.
Silicon Soul. Just I meant to say that before we went on. Silicon Soul.
Okay, I'm sorry. I tried to put some emphasis on the con. I'm sorry, Dragon. Anyways, his okay. Silicon Soul. I was basically trying to make it sound fancy. Yep. Okay, so Dragon, now this is always fun when we do these kind of episodes where I don't really see these episodes pop up on top 10 lists. But I personally really love them, Dragon. Oh my god, this one, Dragon, this one is either, it's either at the bottom of my top 5 or at the middle of my top 10, Dragon. I mean, this thing is, it's up there in my top 10 to be sure. I really, really adore this one. It's quite haunting.
Oh yeah, this is a personal favorite of mine too. I really,
How does the fan base feel about this one, Dragon?
I don't know. Honestly, the fan base, I think on the whole people are like okay with it, but you're right. It doesn't make top 10 lists for, I guess for a reason. Either people like the two-parter that precedes this, like not the Ra's al Ghul two-parter, the two-parter that connects to this episode, Heart of Steel. This is a sequel to Heart of Steel. Some people like that better because of the Batgirl factor. I mean, at the end of the day, I've always, nostalgically as a kid, I adored this episode. The two episodes I remember most from Batman the Animated Series as a kid were Laughing Fish and his Silicon Soul, the two episodes off the top of my head.
Really?
So, yes, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, do I think it's as good as some of the other ones that would make like a legit top 10, top 5 list? Probably not. I mean, is it a Heart of Ice? No, but do I love it? Yes. I mean, again, nostalgically, I got a real soft spot for this episode. Right. It's really good. Anyway.
So you and I are on the same page with the thing because I thought this was fantastic. I really did. Okay. And also, Dragon, I would say it's definitely better than the first Hardest episode.
Hardak episode, yeah, I'm with you too.
Sorry.
I agree with you full-heartedly on that, because honestly, I had a unique experience, Tiki. I watched this before I saw the Hardak two-parter.
Oh, okay.
It plays kind of a really interesting mystery that way when you look at it. You have no idea what the deal with these robot duplicates are. Like, basically, as a kid, my big nostalgic hook for this episode was like, Batman's a robot? What? It's like that it's pretty much like Batman fighting Batman, and what happened to his face? Like, what is this?
Like at the time, were you even really comprehending like the moral complexity of it?
Here's the thing. I kind of got the moral by the third act, but what I'm saying is, I felt something, and then I was starting to get it by the end. But that's what I'm saying. I have so much appreciation for this episode now, as I just had the aesthetics as a kid, but again, it made me feel something, and years later, I understand that feeling. It's like, oh my god, no wonder it was. Oh, it's such a deep cut episode for me. This one, I'll tell you that much.
What is this mysterious feeling? I think it might be love. All right. Anyways, that was a David Copperfield pull, if you can believe it.
Wait for the magician.
Love, Michael. All right. Okay, that was the theme park the right, tangentially related to David Copperfield.
All right. Anyway, context. So. This was directed by the great Boyd Kirkland, who did two of our favorites here. Did I Am the Night, definitely one of my favorites, and Perchance the Dream. Again, definitely another fantastic episode. So again, Boyd Kirkland's got some really good episodes under his belt. The writers on this was a writing team. It was Marty Eisenberg and Bob N. Skier. Now, these guys teamed up on another sci-fi episode, which essentially got them the job on this. What is Reality? They did the whole computerized Riddler episode.
Mm-hmm.
Studio that did this, as you can probably guess by the good animation, Dong Yang, and of course, when Spectrum's away, Dong Yang will play, kids.
Oh yeah.
Also having done the animation for I Am the Night and Perchance the Dream. Again, very, very excellent. Well, wait a minute. Did Perchance the Dream, sorry, let me scratch that. Did Perchance the Dream. Sunrise did I Am the Night. But I think Dong Yang might have done some setups for I Am the Night, I'm not sure. Point being, Perchance the Dream. Did Perchance the Dream. Okay, so not a whole lot of background, just here. I have one really interesting nugget of background is that Heart of Steel had a two-parter, and that was directed by Kevin Altieri. Basically the two-parter guy did the last episode we talked about. Demon's Quest did Two-Face. Altieri's wonderful. And he loves to board things. And Kevin Altieri, he was boarding an amazing third act to the second part of Heart of Steel. And basically, the third act was supposed to be a Batman versus a hard act Batman as the third act battles. And the factory was about to go down, robot Batman fight, and that's what was going to hold him up before the factory blows up.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, it was an amazing board. Everyone was going gaga for it, but unfortunately, they realized, guys, this is only a two-parter. We don't have time for this. This episode's so good, we're going to store it away. We're going to do something within like the third season or something. Okay, we'll get back to it.
Sure.
So it was too good an idea just to kind of like leave on the cutting room floor, essentially. And then this is where things get a little sad, folks. Okay, so get your inside-out tissues. This is really sad news. I found out about this last night.
Oh, really?
So Martin Pascoe, he's of course the story editor, basically kind of like one rung below Alan Burnett, if you will. Marty Pascoe, he's the reason we have some of the best Batman stuff in the animated series. The guy who ran the story room, basically handed out the writing assignments, as it were, but also wrote on Mask of the Phantasm. This guy, I want to say a lot of the Andrea Beaumont stuff was Marty Pascoe. I'm not 100%. It might have been Burnett, but point being, Phantasm credentials on Pascoe's part. And sadly, Pascoe, at the time we're recording this, he has passed away this week. And it was, I tell you, I was reeling because we lost two people that day. We lost the great Jerry Stiller, and we lost
Jerry Stiller, yeah.
I tell you, man, I'm still reeling a little bit for Marty Pascoe, but again, the man he shaped what I love about Batman most, and that sort of stuff with the Phantasm Connection. Basically, he was the guy who ran the story room. So I mean, it's anyway. So the point being, dedication to Marty Pascoe in this episode. Absolutely, a big episode, connects to my childhood as well, and I love that Pascoe. He's the one who suggested the idea of like, hey. He's the one who passed out the writing assignment to Marty Eisenberg and Bob Manskierson. Hey, why don't you guys run with this? You did the sci-fi take on the Riddler. You guys are tailor-made for this sort of thing. We want to go back to Hard Act. Why don't you guys really impress us with that episode? You run with it, guys. Go nuts with it. Go. Let's go to the sci-fi team on this. And they did, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. Okay. All right, that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right, let's get into it. So we start in the dead of night, Dragon, in a warehouse of sorts, of course, because all the best Batman stories start in warehouses.
And it's importantly a Cybertron warehouse, Cybertron being the company that made Hard Act. So we're in a Cybertron warehouse on a stormy, lightning-filled night, again, for some really excellent lighting. Oh my god, the lighting's beautiful. Dong Yang,
really good
man.
lighting. Yeah.
And this episode is one of Dong Yang's finest as well.
All right, so the burglars are going for a particular crate. The thunder's rumbling against it very dramatically. The burglars saying like it's a high-tech weapon of some sort. They're using crowbars to pry open the crate, but then, bam! Out of the crate comes bursting Batman.
Yeah,
question mark.
We've heard about bad entrances, but this is one for the ages. Like, Batman's like waiting a crate until thieves just happen to come by, if you really think about it. So something's a little off there.
This actually really reminds me of the way Jack Sparrow is introduced in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. He comes bursting out of a coffin. Anyways.
Yeah, let's see, but yeah, so it looks like Batman's just kind of been waiting very patiently for crime to happen in this random warehouse.
Right.
But again, there's actually a good reason.
I gotta tell you, at first it kind of threw me off. I was like, wait a minute, what's Batman's play here?
And again, welcome to my thought as a kid, too. Like, wait a minute, why is Batman in that crate? Why is he bursting out of it? So that's the ride you're on. But again, T, imagine just how much more interesting this plays if you have no idea what the precursor with Heart of Steel is for this whole episode. Like you're just going into it completely blind. Like you don't have
Oh,
like
sure,
basically if
yeah.
you've seen Heart of Steel, you can probably put together, okay, we're in a warehouse, there's the Heart Axe symbol and a Batman pops out. If you've seen Heart of Steel and you really remember it, it's like, okay, pretty much column A, column B, you can probably fill in the blanks. But again, you go into this completely blind, like, oh my god, what is happening? I love going into it like that. Okay.
Uh,
So here's the thing that's even better. This is how they really throw you off the scent too. Even if you know about the Heart of Steel stuff, it's like the animation on Batman is just stellar because the lighting on him is like perfect. I mean, like these completely black with the blue highlights and the lightning going off, and him just like Batman looks phenomenal during this fight sequence, and the shadow work on everything is just sublime. Like Batman, he evades the crowbars, the thugs are trying to hit him with a crowbar, and he just grabs it, pathetic. And eerily, tosses a henchman, just grabbing the crowbar and is basically tossing him into like a crate behind him. Again, just with one hand, he tosses this man across the room. Batman's strong, but is he that strong?
mm-hmm.
He trips the one guy, and we have.
And then I really love the. Yeah, I really love the reaction on this guy, Dragon. It really speaks to, of course, this Batman. Spoiler alert, folks, as we come to find out, he is indeed not human. But with this guy, it really speaks to kind of like the supernatural, like Batman maybe is not human. You know what I mean?
I know.
It really is a cool perspective to that.
So we have this panicking Chaz, by the way, voiced by Jeff Bennett, who does the voice of Hardak, and so they got him.
Oh, nice.
So Chaz here is like, oh, this isn't happening. The two thugs run off, and Batman like bolo wraps them, like throws a little kind of bolo, and just they're all wrapped up and taken care of. And he's striking fear into the hearts of criminals. It's classic Batman stuff. Then we have the huge moment.
Oh yeah.
Batman is shot not just once by a gun, like Jim Gordon was shot by a Tommy gun off screen. No, Batman has been shot by a gun 6 times, emptying the whole clip. So we've shot our title character on Saturday morning television with a handgun, like bam, 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 empties the clip, and of course we have the horrified reaction. I love how we tease this up. We don't see the damage until we pan down. Like, you ain't human. You ain't human. And we pan down and reveal.
And like I said, Dragon, like at first I'm still thinking, like I'm still on board with like, yeah, damn straight Batman can avoid some bullets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, yeah, we pan down, and what do we see?
Robot. He's a robot, and again, classic standards and practicing. The only reason you can get away with that on kids' television is, again, the reason they did a whole Heart of Steel episode, the favorite thing in the writer's room, if it's a robot, you can do any horrific thing you want to it. Robots, you can crush a robot, you can kill them the most gruesome way. Look at Samurai Jack, kids. You can kill a robot the most gruesome ways possible, and it's fine because it's a robot. And also, fun fact, I think it's just pure coincidence, but it's awesome. Killer Croc had the robot theory, remember? Like, not the robot theory again, that Batman's a robot, and...
Oh, yeah. Right.
I heard that Croc guy, he said he was a robot. No one believed him, but case in point. All right, so then, so Batman, after this big, really, so again, really great Twilight Zone opening for all the cold opens for Batman. Like, oh my god, he's a robot. The injured Batman returns to Wayne Manor, which I love how rare that is. So, like, we haven't seen just Batman in full costume in Wayne Manor since the beginning of season 2, and that. The Poison Ivy episode and Eternal Youth. And Eternal Youth, he's like looking for Alfred.
Yeah.
That whole episode. Anyway, so Batman returns to Wayne Manor. I love the mirror tracing because what this is, Tika, this is shape recognition. He has shape recognition software, so he's tracing his head, which of course vaguely resembles the heart X symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of cool. All right, let's see. So, but again, this episode just plays as such a great mystery, not knowing that stuff, and just like seeing, oh my god, an injured Batman. I care about Batman. This Batman is injured, and he's looking for help, and I'm on Batman's side during this whole scene as he finds the photo of the Waynes in Bruce Wayne's office, and then Alfred comes in wielding a golf club. Identify yourself. If this were the comics, Alfred would be holding a shotgun right now, but we don't want to see our friendly Alfred holding a shotgun in the animated series. We don't want that.
All right, so Alfred, he turns on the lights. Oh, Master Bruce, you did give me a start. Then Batman just kind of like, sort of like I don't know. How would you describe his walk, Dragon? It's very unnatural, right?
Batman kind of staggers the way he walks, and Alfred notices that
Right.
he's wounded. He says
Staggers. That's the word I was looking
he's
for. Thank
staggering,
you.
and
Yeah.
Alfred notices that he's wounded, and then he's just like, "What happened? Like, what happened to you, sir?" And of course, Batman, the cape unfurls. And I love that we're using the cape to hide all this stuff too, which is great. So, so Batman stumbles forward, staggers forward, and then the cape comes undone. And Alfred just is another shock, as Batman says. And again, I love Conroy's performance through this whole episode. It's so good. I think Conroy's on fire. The beginning of season 3. If you really think of it,
Absolutely.
he gives
Yeah.
a stellar performance in the last two-parter we had, and he's playing like a very interesting, different version of Batman this whole episode, which is very different from the other Batman, which is just wonderful. So he's Alfred, what's happened to me? And just Alfred's horrified reaction, like, oh God.
Yeah, really intense stuff. And Dragon, can you confirm? I get the feeling that this episode is very Terminator inspired, especially in the visual design.
Well,
You know, kind of the metal skeleton of it all.
oh, sure. I mean, again, if you want to look for kind of the more kind of like Art Deco-y connect, you might have like Westworld back in the old West version of Westworld. You rip the flesh off and there's like a robot skeleton underneath. But absolutely, I mean, now I think we all see the Terminator thing. I'm trying to remember when Terminator, when well, yeah, the original Terminator would have been out, so yeah, I guess it would have worked fine. Yeah,
93, 93.
Well, that's isn't the second one in '93?
Yeah, T2 was 93. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, we technically would have had the first one. So if we had the first one, either way you time it out, it would work either way, depending.
Well, I'm saying specifically the design is specifically T2 though, because T2 is when we get a lot of the iconic, imagery of the Terminator. I mean, some of it's there in the original Terminator movie, but most of it is in T2.
You know what it was? It was Terminator 2 came out in '91. That's what it was. It came out in '91, so absolutely Terminator 2. Yes.
Okay, there we go. I don't know why I thought 90.
Just wanted to nail the years down there, folks. But at first I thought it was something like '97, but you're right. It had to be like in the early '90s, and it was '91.
No. Way before. I would have known it was way before '97.
No, the point being, you're absolutely right, and definitely a Terminator Connect for sure. But yeah. Okay, so
anyways.
Little Batman Gordon scene. This is a really good one too. Again, I love kind of the vague Twilight Zone. You always love the Twilight Zone elements of Batman the animated series, and I love this, like, what if Batman woke up one day and he was a robot, as your Twilight Zone premise?
Pretty much.
And again, given like the studios that worked on, the director and the studio that worked on Perchance to Dream, a little bit of that Perchance to Dream element of like we're just dropped in the middle of a story that Batman's trying to figure his way out of. So I love that we, the audience, are prepared for like, well, wait a minute. We've seen Batman in an unfamiliar situation like this, almost dreamlike before, but we established with this next scene, okay, here's the real Batman, and there's a robot Batman, so now we know that is not our Batman, but yet we feel something for him. Okay,
right.
So we have Batman Gordon scene here, basically classic aftermath here, that the lower the tied up thugs, and this hilarious conversation. One, we have like Batman scaring Gordon when he does the bat entrance, which is classic.
Easy night.
No, I'm never too busy to cut down one of your pinatas. Next time, can you hang them a little lower if it isn't too much trouble? Which, again, classic dynamic, and I love it. And then we have this wonderful twist on the Batman Gordon scene. So, basically, Jim, he returns one of the batarangs. One of yours, I believe, says, so it would seem. And again, like there's depending on, it could be like Batman could spot the slight difference, and it's like, oh wait, but yeah, it looks identical to one of mine, but it's not. And anyway, so then he says, he goes over to the one thug, the Chaz, the guy who orchestrated a little heist. He says, get him away from me, he ain't human, get him away. Batman picks up a little piece of circuitry from him, a little piece of something indicating robot. And picks it off the guy's collar, and then we have this is the twist on the Batman Gordon scene here. He grabs Gordon by the arm after he sees these two details with the batarang and the little thing. He pulls Jim by the arm over and says, "Jim, I didn't catch these men. It wasn't you, then who did?"
Oh yeah, that's a.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It's so great.
So what's great about this, Dragon, is that it's like the mystery isn't just like, okay, it's a robot disguised as Batman. The mystery is it's a robot that is Batman.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah.
So it's like, how else would he find his way back to Wayne Manor?
Exactly, and of course, again, I love the editing here too. We have this like this. So we establish, okay, the robot Batman is not our Batman, but he feels remarkably like, and it's a Batman who is convinced that he is Batman. Where
Uh-huh.
we then cut back from the scene once we establish, okay, for the kids out there, we have two Batmans, and then we go back to the robot one who is with Alfred, and we continue the Alfred scene. So really good editing in the back and forth of the we're supplied with new information. Now we're cutting back to the intense scene of what's Alfred going to do in this situation.
Right, right.
So Alfred, he remembers Heart of Steel, like I did not at that time. And he's Alfred saying, "You'll want to get a little bit of the only." To be fair, there is enough of a recap in this episode that does fill in the blanks enough. That's a big thing I want to give the episode points for. Even if you haven't seen Heart of Steel, it plays as a mystery that gives you the details of Heart of Steel, which is quite nice. So
Sure, sure, sure.
Alfred deduces that Batman is one of Rossum's duplicates because the only thing that makes sense, and he looks a little bit like the robot skeleton. Maybe Alfred glimpsed in the file or something. And let's say, what have you done with Master Bruce? And this is what I love what Conroy's doing here. I love the genuine pleading of Batman. This is what's so brilliant about this episode. Act 1 is fully designed to get you on the side of the robot Batman. So when things take a turn, you have an investment in his character.
Mhm.
So you have the pleading Batman like, Alfred, it's me. I need your help.
Exactly, exactly. It's like how can you argue with that, Dragon? As a Batman fan, how can you argue with that performance?
And he puts the mask back, and it's Bruce Wayne's face underneath there. Imagine the head trip that Alfred's going on right now. It's Bruce Wayne's face. And again, just he's pleading, and like Alfred tries to attack him too, and he just grabs the golf. He doesn't hurt Alfred. He just grabs the golf club before it hits him. It's just like, I need to find out what happened to me. I'm not going to last long like this. Again, the Batman's baffled utterly by what's going on here.
Yeah, the desperation. Yeah.
Alfred goes to the grandfather clock. Nice to see the grandfather clock in action. Here's the entrance.
Mhm.
Rarely do we show it. Let's see. So Alfred here, he runs to. Okay, I'll admit, Tiki. As much as I love this episode, this bit never made sense, and there
Oh
were a
God.
few edits made to the episode, and it's like nothing substantial, just like a few things. Maybe this is like a blank that was supposed to be filled. I don't know, but Alfred's running to the Batcave. He puts on a gas mask, and he enacts the security protocol. If there's an intruder, lead him to the Batcave and knock him out. And
Uh-huh.
again, love the episode, but if Alfred knows he's a robot, how on earth did he think this was going to work?
Yeah, yeah, a little bit of a stretch. You're
Basically,
right.
we need to knock Alfred out, but we don't want Batman to hit him. Otherwise, that's going to conflict with the arc. So that's what we're doing here. That's why we have this scene. And as a kid, I didn't care. I didn't think about the logic. Well, robots, maybe we can
Sure,
breathe or something.
sure.
I don't know. It's like I'm not thinking that way through. I'm not thinking it through. So all right, so then Batman's like, sorry, old. But what you care about in the scene is like, sorry, old friend, but I need answers. He's still treating Alfred like a person at this point. So Batman's off to do some investigating. The robot Batman does some detective work on the Bat computer. Basically, we recap Heart of Steel in this. We're a little mini recap of the two-parter where he learns. Long story short, he learns Hardak's function and the destruction of Hardak. He like lists out all the duplicates, which includes Carl Rossum, the creator, and that gives him the lead and location of one Carl Rossum.
Mhm. All right. And Dragon, yeah, like you said, I really like the way that this robot Bruce Wayne slash Batman is just being humanized through this episode. It's very striking. It's almost Orwellian.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see. So what's next?
So we're on the farm with Carl Rossum, and funny enough, you say Orwellian because less Orwellian, more Blade Runner-esque. Because fun fact, Carl Rossum, of course Rossum, by the way, it's an age-old reference to robot derives from Rossum.
Uh-huh.
The word. Anyway, so he was in Blade Runner. The actor who plays Carl Rossum is William Sanderson. William Sanderson played J.F. Sebastian, the guy who created all the replicant guy.
Sure, sure.
Well, fun fact. Anyway.
Yeah, I really, really like what they've done with Carl Rossum here, Dragon. I really like this arc.
I
How
know.
he's pretty much like given up on technology and he's living off the land. It's really cool.
And remember, the really great thing about Carl Rossum's character, he did the whole Hardak thing to try and bring back his daughter in a way, which just he then realized it was
Right.
wrong. That was like an extra motivation on top of all the chaos that happened.
It
He's
was his
retired.
mistake.
Yeah. Oh, yes, it was. Anyway, so as you said,
Sorry.
he shifted
I'm sorry.
gears since
I
the
saw the opening and I took it.
yeah, a man has gone through a lot here, and you're just like, let's throw a little Callahan there.
It's just like
Anyway,
okay. Anyways.
point being, again, the whole heart
William
attack affair.
Schaefer, no.
Anyway, so after processing the grief of his daughter with the whole Hardak affair, which is kind of went south, he's choosing not to build life anymore. He's choosing just to grow it, which is a really genius idea for Rawson. But again, it's like automating like the farm equipment, but not like bringing it to life or anything.
Uh,
So great personal growth angle on Rawson there, and again, I think his performance. I think Bill Sanderson's performance in this is tremendous as well. This is my favorite of the Rawson performances. It was great in the two part, but this is has so much. It's only like one scene. It's like two scenes tops, really, but it's
yeah.
such pathos, and it connects beautifully. Again, it's like it just connects beautifully, very very well with the theme of the episode with the robot Batman about he's trying to kind of you're growing life instead of building it. So this is like life that is kind of built within the technology instead of like building it from the outset. It's like it's the personal growth anyway. So the real Batman visits Rossum and says he's following up on the information, like again, like the stuff that he found at the warehouse, and asking could Hardak have been rebuilt somehow. Like he confirms that no, Hardak was blown up, and any pieces of them that remained were in the the GCPD little impound lot. Essentially, the GCP are in police evidence. Nothing but toys he outgrew long ago. This is what I'm talking about, the pathos in the performance. There's old toys I grew out of long ago, and Batman's very sympathetic here. And again, some genuine pathos from Batman too, saying
fucking robot Batman is very sympathetic.
that he is. We're getting there. But like the real
I'm sorry,
Batman,
Dragon. I keep having to emphasize. I love how much we're caring about this freaking robot.
I know. Tiki, we're gonna get there, and that's the scene that's the scene I really want to talk about. We got to get there, man. We're almost there.
Of course. Yeah.
That's anyways, seriously, we have two really nice Batman moments in a row. One could argue here, where we have like the regular Batman saying, "I know how painful it can be to dig up the past," and of course they have really impassioned Rossum here says, "Then please just leave me alone. Let me get on with my life. Leave me alone." So really nice quiet scene with Batman, and then Rossum returns to the greenhouse. Batman honors his wishes. He at least leaves until probably he spots something. He hangs around. We're going to find that out during the big action sequence. So it seems Batman has come back here. Says, "I told you everything I know." Then we reveal it's Hardak Batman.
God.
So this comes as a big shock to Rossum.
Right.
He's asking me, "How are you around?" and all that stuff. So he's pleading. This is where we get into the performance, man. Oh my goodness, Conroy, and this is a beautiful scene. This is one of my favorite scenes in the episode where he pleads to Rossum.
Yeah.
He pleads for Rossum's help. That he's under the impression that someone put his mind into a robot body, and you feel so bad for him because he believes with all his soul that he is
It's
like
so twisted, Dragon. It's very, very Twilight Zone-esque.
I know. Possibly the most Twilight Zone-y episode of Batman, next to Perchance the Dream, let's be honest. Second to
Next to Perchance the Dream, yes.
But again, a lot of Perchance fingers.
Because Perchance the Dream can straight up be a Twilight Zone episode, honestly.
Yeah, technically, yeah. Right,
with or without the Batman.
All right, let's see. So basically, he's saying you're the only one who can help me, And then Rossum's examining him. And he looks at like the wires from all the bullet damage, and he's saying the damage is too extensive. You only have a matter of hours. And again, I love that it's such a sad prognosis for this Batman. He's saying, "Well, I need to find my body, or can you transfer me to another shell?" And then we have this. This is the best Carl Rossum scene in the whole animated series. Bear in mind, he only has 3 episodes, so this is like the last Carl Rossum scene, but it's a great one all the same. This explanation that he gives, like a Blade Runner scene, again, per the guy from Blade Runner here, where he says, "You're not a man in a robot. You're not a man in a robot's body." He says, "You're lying. That's not possible. I know my family, my friends, birthdays, names. I have a past. I have memories. I have a past." And that's that's what's beautiful about it. It's like a guy who knows the pain of the Wayne murder. At least he knows the facts. Like this is a man who lost his family, who is on the same mission as a Batman and everything. Guy who's committed to the path. But again, as Rossum breaks it to him, I love how gentle he is in this scene where he says, "That's information, data, nothing more. Can you remember your first kiss? Can you remember your favorite song? Do you remember the last time you tasted a really good steak? And then Batman's being caught off guard by it. It's such a gentle scene. He says, no, but that's all you have, information, data. It's, basically, as he just breaks Batman's heart right there. It's so heart-wrenching.
He doesn't have a heart to break, Dragon. That's what's
It's crazy.
I'm sorry.
It's great. But again, that's the kicker, though. This is a Batman who technically he doesn't know the pain that Bruce Wayne went through, but he knows the situation. He knows the end result of that pain. That's what he's lived by. He knows that he lost his parents, but he doesn't really know the feeling. But he convinced himself he knows the feeling. That's what's so petty about this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, it's phenomenal. So Batman, while Rossum's continuing to break his heart here, it's kind of like the "I will go sailing no more" for Batman sequence, if you will. Batman sees the water forming, basically Rossum's little kind of window cleaner bot here on the greenhouse. The water comes down, and for a moment it forms the heart axe symbol. Again, the shape recognition thing. So now Batman's connecting the dots. Heart axe behind this. I know the symbol. And this is Conroy's performance, unleashed here, man. That's what I'm talking. It's like again in that wheelhouse of the end of part 1 of Demon's Quest. I said put her down. Like Conroy just unleashed in like a really intimidating Batman, where he just grabs Ross and says, "Where's Hardak? Hardak was destroyed. Where is he? Tell me now." He's just so desperate at the end of his rope. He's gonna. We know later on he's not gonna hurt Rossum, but still, for the moment, you think, this is a robot Batman. It's not our Batman. He might beat the crap out of Carl Rossum. We don't know this. It's like this is Batman's learning his whole realities in jeopardy. That he may not be he's not a real person. But he still feels real. And then the real Batman comes. Oh god, this is one of the best animated moments in the whole thing. So the real Batman grapples on down. He swings to kick Batman, as he tends to do with people. However, because this is Batman. The Hardak Batman, as he's kicked without breaking the stride, he grabs the real Batman's legs, twirls him around, and throws him into a beam that basically starts to bring the whole place down. All in one move.
Yeah, you're right. Very visually impressive, very swooping camera angle. Just overall, the concept of the shot is really cool. Just the two Batmans. Anytime we get more than one Batman, it's awesome. Right. And so the Robo Batman comes walking up to the regular Batman, with the sparks flying out of his chest. Regular Batman takes a hose and sprays him, decapacitating him.
And again, we're in this Batman's camp, so we feel bad for him. He's got the crap shocked out of him. Like, oh no, right into the open wound. So again, that built-in sympathy comes into play. I love that each act has a Batman versus Batman fight. At round 1, Act 1, this fight. It's where basically it seems Batman, Hardak Batman is knocked out. Rossum wants to take a garden hoe to his head and just kind of, hey, we need to kill it. We need to destroy it. It has to die. And Batman's not even thinking about the moral quandary right now. He's thinking, well, we need to find out if Hardak's been reactivated or not. We got to follow him.
I like that Batman's not thinking about the moral quandary for a change. That's honestly kind of refreshing.
Yeah. So I love this. I love how going forward, with each damage the robot suffers, we take away the humanity slowly and slowly. Because think about it, he just got shot in the chest, and when he comes to, his eyes are red throughout the majority of the episode. So now the eyes are red. The next, and by Act 3, he's going to become even less human, as you know. So that now with the eyes come back on, the two of them tussle. Batman he flips the Hardak Batman, then he shoves him through the glass wall of the greenhouse, which now means the greenhouse is going to collapse on poor old Rossum. But then, and again, this is where we love it here, Hardak Batman goes in to save Rossum. Goes back, he tosses our Batman, he jumps in to save Rossum, throws Rossum out by the skin of his teeth. Greenhouse collapses in on the Hardak Batman. And pulls a bad exit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. So now they can't find him, so the real Batman heads to the GCPD impound lot per what he learned from Rossum. That it's in if this guy's looking for pieces of Hardak, it's only in one place.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What's next? Well,
now we're in the impound. We're in the impound yard.
Right. And this is where we started the episode, right?
No. That was a different warehouse. We're in a different place right now.
So many warehouses. I'm
It's
sorry.
only 2
Okay.
warehouses, one per. It's fine.
Okay, so anyways, Robo Batman finds Hardak Dragon. He finds Hardak. He does a little symbol recognition thingy. Let's see. Oh God, oh Dragon, this moment is really creepy where he finds the hard drive chip thing. He peels back its skin, peels back its face, reveals the Terminator mask. He's like groaning in pain. Oh God. Oh, Dragon, I'm sure as a kid you were really disquieted by this moment,
I
right?
mean, yeah. Again, it was just more that recognition of okay, I'm identifying with this Batman, but he's not Batman. I don't know what's going on. As a kid, I'm trying to. But again, when he does that, it's like, oh God, what is like a part of me as a kid without fully getting what's going on in the episode way back when I'm thinking for a moment, like, oh God, is his brain really been transferred in the robot body or what? Before, of course, by the end you kind of get it. But you're right though. It is quite. It's a very memorable thing. The reason like the episode's never left my mind, like a Batman with red eyes and he's got a metal skeleton face underneath, and then later on half of that. And of course, like nowadays they've been re-releasing this thing as the with the whole Batman animated toy line. And I gotta tell you, I was geeking out over it. Oh God, the robot Hardak design skeleton face from my youth is back, man. I gotta get me that. I gotta get that.
Right.
Yeah. So basically, what he does here is the symbol recognition's coming into play. He finds the little piece that he's putting into his head after he peeled the skin back, and this is a operational circuit. It's basically a little operational circuit that's going to basically do a diagnostic scan and fix all the damage. Really cool design on that Terminator head, by the way. I just want to give that the design work again. It feels we never saw what these things looked like while they were still alive and robotic underneath the skin, because we saw them blown up and saw like the little robot skeleton underneath, but never like in motion and fully intact like this. It's really cool robot design stuff.
Right.
I love the hesitancy on Batman to erase his core memories and to put this thing in his head. Like you see him like holding his arm back, but again, it's like it's the destiny of the machine versus the soul that the robot has possibly developed. So again, like we're at this point, again, so wonderfully, Act 2, we seem to have erased the Batman elements of this machine. We think, which is a great kind of throw. This is a great kind of like throwing you off the scent moment.
Okay. All right. So after the we are Hardak of it all.
Yeah, so now they're on the same team. We have a little flashback that shows basically. I'm convinced this was the deleted scene from that episode. That basically you would have seen him be constructed, then he was put in a crate, and kind of stored away for another episode, essentially.
Could be.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, so after like the Raiders shot of him being stored away, and of course we know what happened after that point. They're very much in unison. Basically, we've now given Hardak the body of Batman, pretty much. Like now, basically, Hardak's driving what this Batman does. They're going to replace humanity, which is the original Hardak's mission. They're going to begin with Batman, who just showed up in the Batmobile, and then we get round 2 of the Batman versus Batman fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I gotta love the Batman versus Batman fights for sure.
Now, this fight in itself.
Okay, so they're. Go ahead.
So this fight in itself is really cool. There was going to be a little bit more elaborate. They were going to have like all the Batman villains' weapons and gadgets be in this warehouse, and they're going to use them against each other. But again, they figured maybe less is more in this case. Maybe we shouldn't go a little overboard with that.
Sure. All right, so Batman just Robo Batman just takes a chunk of steel and just almost throws it at him.
A whole forklift.
Or what is it, Dragon? Yeah, forklift. Yeah, forklift. Right. Batman's trying to negotiate with him. Nothing going through. Robo Batman just charging regular Batman until he falls into the wharf below, into the water.
Not just that, he shoves him through a brick wall, assumedly. He just shoves him through the entire wall and then into the water. That's the kicker. It's like at high speeds, like bam, slammed him through the wall. I mean, it's not just like Batman falling into the water. Oh, he must be dead. Like, no, we crushed his body and threw him into the wharf. He's a goner. He's dead.
All right, so poor Alfred, man. Poor Alfred. He's waking up. He's coming to. He sees the Batmobile rushing out. He sees a Batmobile driving up, and he's rushing up. Oh, Master Bruce, thank God you're alive. What's become of your evil twin? And, oh boy, Dragon. red-eyed Robo Batman, just like, it's all taken care of, Alfred.
There is only one Batman
Alfred's just like, oh, good lord.
Oh, God. This is so terrifying.
And Batman's basically just like, I'll keep you alive until your replacement assembles itself and you can maintain your duties.
So essentially, Hardak Batman's preparing the comeback for Hardak. Basically, Hardak's going to be reborn inside the Bat computer, which, of all computers to be uploaded in, is not a good one, because that's just going to give him a lot of power there.
Right.
That ain't good.
Right.
So basically, the idea is that we're going to start Heart of Steel all over again, which is not good for anyone. So Alfred makes the point that, a computer can't build a factory. He says, humanity will. And essentially, well, humanity will resist. They'll rebel. It says, and basically he's making the Ultron point here. Well, with control over the defense and communication systems, Hardak can be very persuasive towards humanity. So that's not good. And yet again, in a row, mind you, we do another five-minute countdown, much like we did in Demon's Quest.
Mm-hmm.
In real time, 5 minutes, the end of the episode. So we're in Act 3, and then we have Round 3 of the big showdown here. So the real Batman returns with a torn cape. We took a little out of him, torn cape. He's, and again, wonderfully Hardak saying, that's impossible. And of course, Batman saying, I love you have the two performances here. Now Batman has like the more, Hardak Batman has the more metallically futzed thing with his voice. He has like the, like the little, the metallic echo on his voice now,
Right, yeah.
Well, let me rephrase that. It's going to go to that later, but I love getting to that point. Conroy's now playing him very robotic. He played fully human Batman in Act 1. Act 2, he had the whole, just very human, but speaking very monosyllabically almost to a point, And then, of course, now we're going to get the metallic thing once the face goes a little bye-bye. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So humans are more resilient than you give us credit for. Alfred attempts to stop the countdown, gets the crap shocked out of him. And I love our Batman leaps to Alfred's aid. First thing he thinks of, helping good old Alfred.
Oh yeah.
Alfred establishes the ticking clock. He had 5 minutes, or else we're going to do Heart of Steel all over again. We don't want that. So then we get Round 3, and oh my God, Round 3 is the one they're selling tickets for, folks. This is the good one. So we have the Battle of the Grappling Guns going on here.
Just very, very creative fight choreography, just in general, with this Batman versus Batman action.
And again, these fight sequences, this is what gives us the episode, because all these boards from that one episode of a Batman versus Batman fight leads to so many good ideas. You have to do an episode on it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. So he wraps the grappling gun around Batman. He's tossing kind of like the end of Batman v Superman, with Superman and Batman just kind of throwing him around. And again, our Batman is a little outmatched here because the Hardak Batman has the enhanced strength of all these duplicates. So that's the Doomsday here. Okay, let's see. So Batman Hardak is going to be reborn, and the man who destroyed him is kind of all gloaty and everything because he's all very uber Hardak right now. He crushes a Batarang. I know all your moves, Batman. And of course, Batman's now trying to reason with him here. He's taking the Winter Soldier approach, man. He's doing the Winter Soldier approach. Saying, you know my moves. Maybe, I know your moves. It's like, yes, but why don't you finish me off then? Or have you become enough like me to know I won't take a life?
Oh, yeah. And this is where we get into the real Orwellian, is it a robot or is it a man of it all?
Yeah, the Blade Runner Orwell thing of it all, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, fun fact, yet another existential conversation between two Batmen in the DCAU. This is the first time it happens. We're going to do it again in Justice League with an alternate universe Batman. It's going to be quite good. It's like another existential debate between Batman about, a way of life versus the real Batman's way of life. It's interesting.
Nice.
So basically, I have a little chase through the Batcave. We really explore the Batcave this episode, by the way. We go all over the place with this little chase here with the grapple thing, and he tosses something at him and says, "You knew I'd be able to dodge that." Which is, again, he's great. He's calling this Batman out. You are me. Admit it. Again, it's kind of like, old Bucky, you can't do this sort of thing, It says, you can't kill. It's impossible. It says, I'm programmed to serve Hardak. And then we have the finger laser, which is even cooler. He's shooting, he has like a laser gun built into his finger. He's firing at Batman through the chemical lab section of the Batcave. Starts a chemical fire that Batman then takes the opportunity to toss acid in the face of the Hardak Batman, which, again, can't do it to Two-Face, but we can do it to a robot.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, no problemo there.
So then we get a money shot. Here's the
Just
money
flesh
shot.
melted out. Yeah, go ahead.
The money shot of the Hardak Batman with the face split down the middle, half robot face, half duplicate face, half real face. Man, again, this is what I love when they made the toys for this. You have the interchangeable heads. You have the full robot head, and you have the half robot head. It's awesome.
Nice, nice.
Okay, so now we're in the armory for like kind of the last part of the battle here, at kind of the very edge of the Batcave, like all like the armory collection, like not stuff Batman would actually use, but maybe a few swords if he wanted to fence or train his sword fighting. And of course, we're bringing swords into the mix, like Demon's Quest again. They were on a sword kick. I don't know what to tell you. Let's see. So Batman attacks with a sword. Hardak is asking you, "Why are you resisting? Our goals are aligned together." And our Batman's like, "How do you figure that? How are our goals aligned on this?" And he says, think of it, a world free of crime. And again, there's the debate there, like a world free of crime and free of suffering, free of fragility, and free of choice, compassion, freedom. Yes, and I just love how he says, like, "Why don't you see this?" Yes, the certainty in that, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have the huge moment, Tiki. What happens?
So Batman essentially sacrifices himself, right, Dragon? Or seemingly to the audience, he basically throws himself off of the ledge, right?
I gotta tell you, it's hard to. I don't think Batman did this on purpose. I think he kind of lucked out, honestly. But it's Batman, so you never know. But at the very least, I think
World's greatest detective, Dragon. I don't know. The way I read it was that Batman kind of intentionally did it, but that was my read.
my read on is I think he knows what's down there to maybe help his fall. I'm going to meet you in the middle. He does. I think he sells it on the way down because he goes like, "No." I think he's tricking this Batman a little bit, maybe. So what happens is, anyways, the point being, he knows the other Batman can't strike him down once he has the opportunity. You can't do it, can you? You can't take a life. You can't kill me. So then Batman tries to knock him out, tries to punch him, and this Batman like repels him, and unfortunately he repels him back, and he tries to grab him by the cape, but the cape tears, and he falls. And this might be Batman overselling it, knowing that he's going to be able to save himself on the way down. Where it's like, "No," and he's grabbing onto the thing, but we don't see that yet. And then this is a big moment here where the Hardak Batman that we now care about, and again we bring it all back here. Now all the humanity we thought was extinguished from this, he was just spouting all like cult, the cult of Hardak, if you will. He's now going no, and I just love how again this is Conroy playing a scene he would never be able to play, a Batman who killed somebody, and how he would react. It's like,
oh yeah,
no, and now the Batman robot faces.
I've taken a life.
I've taken a life. I just love how I'm just like taking off the what if of it all here, just flirting with the what if Batman took a life, how would we react to it? It's like, I took a life. I killed a man. And like 10 seconds left on the back computer, he walks up there. Alfred's like, I don't know what to do, man. He just gets out of the way. My city, my people. What have I done? Then Batman just has an utter meltdown. Again, this poor character just has utter meltdown.
I have on my notes. He goes all Kylo Ren on the computer.
All Kylo Ren, like just smashing the heck out of the computer. Again, this guttural. This is Conroy channeling his inner Hamlet. He loves doing this sort of stuff with Batman. He's like goes like full tilt, like he's just like screaming at the top of his lungs, like bashing the computer, and then he punches it right in the screen. And of course, rule of thumb in the animated series, computers blow up. I don't have to tell you, computers blow up. So it punches it, bam! Our Batman now this Batman sacrifices himself. This one's an absolute sacrifice. The other one maybe fake sacrifice.
Oh, yeah.
Point being, clever Batman all around. So Batman blows up. He's hit all the way to the Batmobile, and then the sprinklers come on. And any residual life the guy had, and he's all exposed robot at this point. He's shorted out completely and dead. We've killed Batman in an episode of Batman the Animated Series, and this one ain't coming back. No man who killed Batman here. Batman sacrificed himself, and he's dead, but he's a robot.
It is It's not just a robot Batman. It's a Batman with all of Batman's personality and hopes and dreams and ambitions. I mean, Dragon, one would think that if things would have turned out differently, Bruce could have used this Batman to fight alongside him, perhaps.
Yeah.
There's missed potential here.
Very true. So Alfred's searching the chasm, and he finds Batman hanging by. I want to say it's an excavation land from when the Batcave was built. So basically, Batman, way back during the construction, he's left these things in. Basically, if anyone falls, maybe they'll be able to catch catch on to the thing. Maybe I guess that's my logic for the contingency. Like even if he planned it, it's like I'm going to put these things here, so if I ever need to fake my death, I'll be able to catch one of these things.
Oh.
So like anyway, so point being, Batman's alive, holding on by a thread. Then we have the big title moment of the episode, the final moment.
Oh yeah.
They had to alter this for BS&P, by the way, because there was the religious connotation originally was he had a soul, but BS&P was like, well, we don't want to offend anyone religiously who believes this, and they might identify someone with Batman here. So basically, they made it even better. They phrased it as a question, which makes it so much better, I think.
Sure.
Alfred points out, he actually sacrificed himself at the thought of hurting innocent people, sir, somewhat like you would. Batman unmasks the body and sees Bruce Wayne's face, with the other half being the kind of the skeleton of the robot. And he asked I love Conroy's performance here, where he asked the question, could it be he had a soul, Alfred? A soul made of silicon, but a soul nonetheless.
Then we end on the image of the split-faced Batman with, the split-faced Bruce Wayne robot. Great imagery. Great episode. All right, Dragon, just rolling into my final thoughts here. I honestly do think this is a top 10 caliber episode for me. I mean, it might not be in my top 5, but I'd be hard pressed to think of 10 episodes I like more than this so far. I mean, I know we've got a lot of great episodes to come, especially with with the season we're on. But still, I was very impressed with this. It's got all the hallmarks of that kind of like Twilight Zone-y sort of stuff that I love with with the Best of Batman the Animated Series. I had no idea what to expect with this thing going crazy. So that's one thing about it, is that I was able to walk into it really fresh, not knowing anything, and really came out with a great time. It's suspenseful, it's dark, it's moody, it has a great kind of thought-provoking message to it. Like it a lot. All right.
Yeah, this is one I was waiting to get to for a long time. We got the Demon's Quest, and we got to this, man, season 3. And I completely forgot they were like back to back, which is even better. It's like, we get like the high points early on in the season, man. That's just wonderful. So his Silicon Soul, such a fun and engaging episode. Maybe not as deep as the Hall of Famers, but you know what? It's good enough, man. It is good enough. I mean, it's deep enough for me. I nostalgically always love this one, but I mean, personally, this episode has a lot of merit that people glaze over. This episode's got it's got true grit, man. It's got good stuff, and not only that, a sequel that easily outdoes its predecessor. It's a it's a great it's a great take on humanity within the machine of that story. It's got flawless animation, such a cool episode. Period. It takes a very Saturday morning idea. Hey, what if Batman was a robot? But it gives it legs and it separates it from the pack. That's what separates it. It's not like, hey, what if the X-Men were robots? In the '90s. And it's not nothing like that. It's such a beautiful idea. Like what if we took what Batman stands for and how that we've seen how that impacts people. Batman as a symbol, but what if we apply that so fascinatingly? How would that translate on a binary level? Like you have like a machine that sees things in ones and zeros. How would a machine interpret the mission of Batman if it thought it was Batman? And it's such great stuff, man. Again, I feel this is I think our sci-fi guys on this I think they struck the landing a lot better here than they do with What Is Reality. And of course, What Is Reality has its moments, but still, you know was reality. It's the weaker of the 3 Riddler episodes, but still not bad. This is the best thing I think those guys did. I think this is an excellent episode, one of my all-time personal favorites, and definitely in a top 10 list for me. It's great stuff, phenomenal, a lot of love for it. Always gonna have a lot of love for it.
Okay, cool. Take us out.
A god amongst us, lightning. A shipping mogul gone mad? Can Batman stop the delusional Maxi Zeus? Or will Gotham fall prey to a Greek tragedy? Tune in next time to find out. Same animated bat time, same animated bat place.
On the next visit to the animated Batcave with Fire from Olympus! Dude, I don't know. Please give me something. Come on.
You ain't human. You ain't human.